Welcome to Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous, and today I'm going to do a Let's Pew Pew video with you, and it's going to be all about racing. I thought this would be a good thing to do since the last time that I did a show, it was an interview with Ben Lesnick, and it was about the controversy over the M50 and 350R sales going full-time and then being taken back and put into limited ship status. Now, we had a lot of information in that video, but in the end, I believe that I understand why that happened, and it was because in the beginning, they said they were going to try to limit the number of ships, and only because they created this racing mode in Arena Commander did they decide to make them permanently available. And in retrospect, they went back, took it away because they wanted to hold to their word and said that they just release other racers. So I'm going to show you a little bit about Murray Cup racing here in just a moment. Before I go on, I want to say just one thing. It is not realistic at all. It kind of breaks the immersion factor, but one way that they got it past Chris Roberts was that it's not actually in the game itself, it's an Arena Commander. And although we think we're in the game in this, it's actually a game within a game. In the real universe, there's actually going to be much better physics and flight models. You're actually going to be flying in the atmosphere, and we learned that from Ben on the show. So let's get right into my first race and talk a little bit about what's going on in the game. I shot this race a couple of nights ago, and I hit the record button just after the race started. I don't even know who I'm going against right now. I might be going against nobody. It all depends on if this person bugged out or not. But this is what the race mode is. You fly through an atmospheric location, which I believe is somewhere in the Ellis system, and you're going through these gates. It's kind of like one of the test modes that you had in X-Wing a long time ago when you were getting checked out in different ships. Why do I like this so much? Because it's just so much fun. I like that it's not full atmospheric flight because you'd be able to handle the turns easier. I like that you need to use the boost to try to get your ship pointed in the right direction as opposed to going faster. What boost does now is it accelerates you faster. It doesn't make you go faster, so quicker acceleration. And of course, as you turn, it keeps you pointed in the right direction. So let's just give you an idea over here. We're going to pull a turn over here, and in order to keep us going, I have to hit the boost. And that's why you start seeing me gray out and sometimes black out. Now I'm taking these turns rather wide, I found, when I got my butt kicked by somebody that actually flew through this course in 1 minute and 8 seconds, as opposed to my pitiful 1 minute and 26 seconds. I've had 1 minute and 18 seconds once, still nowhere near the top, but that was in a mode that you do in single player. I think they call it drone sim. You can see how easy it is to get off the track and just blow yourself up. The damage model on the M50 is just amazing, and it's such a gorgeous ship. I'm wondering if this particular race is actually my drone sim. Anyhow, so the racing mode is pretty cool, and of course a little bit unrealistic. There's 3 courses, and this course is probably more geared towards a all-out, I guess a racer that has a very high-end top speed. Why do I say that? Because it's just a figure 8, and it's very simple to get through once you learn how to do it. After this, you get into races that have many more gates, up to 16. And I think those are more geared towards a ship in the lines of an M50. So currently available until the 22nd are the M50 and the 350R. And the way that Ben explained them is this is like the Formula One racer. So very, very, very quick acceleration and able to handle the turns extremely well. The 350R, he was saying, is more like a rally car racer. In my estimation, it's probably more like a stock car racer. Just all out, balls to the wall, full throttle, as fast as you can go, and just making single turns, right? Not turning all the time, but just making these long looping turns, and then just putting the pedal to the metal and making it through. That's what the 350R is. Now, because of the controversy, we're not going to have the 350R and the M50 for sale all the time. They're going to go into limited ship status, and what that means, the clarification of it, is that they're going to keep the production of these ships down. There'll be other ships to diversify the number of ships in the Arena Commanders Murray Cup mode, but not necessarily in an abundance either. They may be limited also. Now, there's two ways that they're going to limit it. One is going to be by opening up the sales at different points, so the M50 and 350R will come back for sale. Do not worry about that. They're just going to be gone for the time being. You may see them in just a few months here, maybe in November for the week-long sale that they had last year, if they do it again. But you're going to have newer racers. They said there's 2 racing models of the Mustang. I bet you it's the same model but 2 skins, the standard skin that you get and the AMD skin. And then Ben alluded to new racers that are already in the pipeline as soon as they decided to do this type of a game. I'm hoping that one of them is going to be based on the F7CS Hornet, the Ghost, because it's already light and all it needs is a little bit of alteration, a bubble canopy and a slimmer fuselage. So racing is going to have a more diverse set of ships. I don't know how popular racing is at this moment as I crash into this and stop still. I have gotten into races where I raced against 2 other people, and I've gotten into races where I've raced against one other person who then quits. So I think a lot of people are just trying out racing right now and seeing what they like about it, if they like it. I happen to love it. I feel like I'm in like this cloud city, kind of like Bespin. And making it through the gates is just something that's really cool to me. I really love playing this type of game. Now, I'm not sure how many other ships I've raced that are 350Rs and M50s. One race I had, a guy just left me in the dust, and another one, I could swear I was flying against an Aurora because I had to wait for almost 2 full minutes for him to finish. Then again, he could have crashed a couple of times like I do, but if you listen to the announcer, you can hear when the other person crashes. I found a couple of glitches in the race game when you are playing other people, and I think it might be my internet. And what I'm seeing is that when the announcer speaks and they're making it through a bunch of gates and he goes, "Wow, I can't believe it, they are tearing up the track." Here I am blacking out, that's not a problem, oop, and blasting into a million pieces. So what happens when that goes on is that my ship just lags. This is definitely 100% a test race. I'm going to have to bring on a real race in just a second. So I see some lag when they talk, and I wonder if it's my internet, but I've got 50 megabit a second with like 13 millisecond ping from Comcast. So I'm not sure that's what's going on. But it happens like clockwork every single time somebody goes through a bunch of gates and they say that they're tearing up the track or they're hot on my heels, or, you know, there's so many different things they say. But outside of that, I don't find any other issues with this game mode at all. Ever since they actually got it fixed, where you can actually get into a game, I just think this thing is very well done. Those guys and girls over at Foundry 42 have really done it. And just by looking at this, you can get an idea how awesome this game is going to be. Now, this is just flying around in circles. I know it is, folks, but it's fun. So let me bring up another race and see if I'm actually fighting against somebody or not. Well, not fighting, but racing against somebody. And we will begin in just a second. I haven't been able to find those 2 race videos because it looks like I didn't record them. I just upgraded my GeForce Experience and realize now that I have to reset up my hotkey that started and stopped my video recording, and that is something that cost me you being able to see a competitive race here, but I will bring those in later Let's Pew Pew episodes. For the time being, let me just tell you, it does take a little bit getting used to flying this. Once you get it though, you'll be able to nail it every time. And when I mean nail it every time, I don't mean crash and destroy your ship like I'm about to here. You're going to learn how to get around the track as quickly and easily as possible. And when you do, the whole mode, this whole New Horizons mode, just opens up and shows you how gorgeous it is and how fun it is. I love the diversity in this game. I love that there's a little bit for everybody, and I love that they incorporated something like this into it, because racing is definitely going to be a big thing, and now they're opening it up to tracks that are going to wind up in different parts of the universe. How do I know that? I don't. I just said it to Ben and he didn't say no, so I'm hoping that that's the case. I hope that racing isn't just one venue on one planet in one system. I hope it's a great number of them. But what he did say is that there will be in-space racing also, along the lines of the lore, which if you go back to one of the older jump points, you could read about the Murray Cup, and what they were doing is actually flying great distances in the system and running out of fuel and having to refuel at a gas giant. And he said all of that would probably be in the final version of racing when the Persistent Universe goes live. So go ahead and get out there and practice. And when you see, or I see, that they have the private matches back up again, race me. Let's see who's truly the better racer. I know I'm not, but I would love to have some fun racing against some of my viewers. That's it for the preliminary review in this Let's Pew Pew episode. Thank you very much for listening to me and watching, and if you do like the video, please comment below. It really does help out the channel, and it makes me know if I'm doing the right thing or not. I'll continue to put up these racing videos at least once or twice a week as I start to get a little bit better and more competitive. And with that said, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.